welcome back to the BotBoss podcast. I cannot tell you how excited I am to have the honor of having Peng Joon on with us today, you guys. I cannot believe it. Okay, so a little bit about Peng. If you guys have not heard of him, which were you living under a rock? Like, how could you not know who Peng Joon is? But just in case, Peng has built an 8-figure business in less than 7 years. He has literally helped thousands of people monetize their passion, earn passive income online, and truly live the .com lifestyle. He's got a program called the Content Multiplier Formula that literally blew my mind at Funnel Hacking Live. And after I found out what he was talking about, literally blew my mind. And it's widely regarded as one of the most strategic and innovative approaches to growing an online empire, not just a business, but an empire. So he shared the stage with Richard Branson, Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, and obviously Russell Brunson. So I'm so excited and honored that he's on here today with us. Peng, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah. So Peng, I know I got to sit across from you from an event that we were at together, and I asked if you were using bots, and you said you were, and that you had been seeing some great things. And so I was like, oh my gosh, come on and tell us what you've been seeing in bots. But first, before you get to that part, why did you decide to take the leap and go into bots? Because there's so many other ways to get your message out there. Like, why did you decide to invest the time to start with bots?
I'm always looking at different ways where attention is underpriced. So whenever a new medium comes out, whether it was like Periscope back in the day or Snapchat, I truly believe that when there's a new thing, most people that go on, when most people go on, it's really kind of too late. If you want to have that edge, that unfair advantage, that's when you want to be going in when nobody else has really gone in yet. And chatbots is one of those things. That's why I went into it, to really explore the potential. And when it first came out, it was amazing.
Yeah. So what was one of the first things that you implemented with bots?
So the first thing we did was we captured them into like our bot list, and we would send out these broadcasts, and it was like email back in 1995. The open rate, like over 90%. Click-through rates was crazy, and we saw amazing results as a direct result of using bots.
That's incredible. That's so awesome. So right now in your business, how are you choosing to use bots the most?
So right now we use it to automate support. So like for people to try to contact us, we try to understand what it is that they want, and based on what they want, we send them to appropriate channels. I think that my personal take is I don't think bots will ever replace that human touch, but what it can do, it can automate the processes and systems so that it takes the load off support by a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what has it meant for your support team and for your business to have that automation implemented?
So there's a few ways we look at it. Number one, we use bots as a way to grow our list. We use bots to get more traffic into our funnels. We use bots to make sure that people who are looking for specific things, we are able to serve them better, because we ask them questions based on what they want to do, we send them to the appropriate departments. So we use it to streamline and automate a lot of things, as well as help us get leads.
That's so exciting. So as far as like everything to do with bots, is there something that you're like the most excited to implement with bots? I mean, I know right now it's still kind of the Wild West, and there's a lot of unknowns out there, things you have to be careful about. But with your business and with bots, is there something that you're really excited about, or a strategy that you could share with us?
So for me, I look at bots as another dimension to reach our customers, right? So like email, it's overly competitive. The browser notifications, that's like another method, right? So the way I look at bots is that it's a very effective way to reach our customers, because of the open rates are still very high. And as long as you play, by the rules, you'll still, it's a very, very good method to reach our customers. So the way I do it is we have like a sequence, so that the moment they talk to us, they go into this sequence. And like, so like one of the things we were just talking about earlier before this video is that When I did these broadcasts, we saw amazing results until I had like 2 friends who probably didn't play by the rules, and they got their pages shut down. And since then, I thought like, I haven't done a broadcast since, because risk versus reward, I thought it just wasn't worth it, regardless of the leads and sales we get. But now we use it as a way to capture, to kind of automate and take the load off support, and to get people into the different departments, and also to opt into our funnels.
I think that that's great, especially because, well, everything is changing in December, right? And subscription-based messaging is changing, and accessibility to that. You have to get approved at the page level in order to have access to the subscription-based messaging. But so I think that people who are looking at bots as a part of the whole marketing program, because I feel like every single tool, while I am totally bot biased, every single tool that we have in our belt as marketers, whenever you learn how to use them all together, that's where the real power is. And I feel like bots are like a huge power tool that makes a huge difference, especially right now. We feel like we've got a window of opportunity to really make a huge impact, grow an amazing bot subscriber list, and nurture those people with great content. Which, by the way, I just want to say, if you guys are not on Peng Joon's email list or in his bot, you need to be there, because his content is some of my most favorite, especially even on what he posts on his Facebook page. You've got to go check it out, because it just truly speaks to the heart of the entrepreneur and cuts straight through all of the head games and all the stuff that we go through as entrepreneurs. So Ping, to step just a little bit away from bots for just a second, you shared something at Funnel Hacking Live that I think I'm probably going to remember for the rest of my life. You got up on stage and you're up there in all of your Peng Joon glory, right? And you're sharing and everybody's, whoa, it's Peng Joon. And you were so vulnerable. You actually showed us a video from when you first started, and when you were getting kind of roasted, or you were getting grilled by this guy who was supposed to help you become a better speaker. And we're sitting there, we're seeing the result of years of hard work. We're seeing you standing on the stage, and you show us this video. And I think every person in the audience could relate to what you were going through, because he was so hard on you. And like, my face felt like it flushed red whenever I was watching what you were experiencing. But the thing was when you shared that, it like sprung this well of just hope and inspiration inside of myself, because I know that's how I feel right now whenever I'm putting my foot out there and I'm doing these things. But to see you standing there and you're showing us after the result of saying yes and being grilled and not being good at the very beginning, although I didn't think you were doing terrible, but boy, was he hard on you. And there you were standing there. Could you talk to us a little bit about that journey? Because some of the content that you put on the Facebook page, just kind of fighting against that issue of like, I don't feel inspired, I don't have what it takes, or whatever. And it just stops people who want to create and who want to change the world from taking action. Which, like another one of your posts, it talked about action is what creates the emotion, which creates the inspiration, which creates the momentum. And so if you would talk to us a little bit about that, and how you decided to share that journey with everybody at Funnel Hacking Live.
Well, most people, like you said, they use this convenient excuse of saying, I'm not inspired, I'm waiting for inspiration. And you can see that most people use that as an excuse when it comes to doing the thing that they want. For example, like writing a book. Oh, I haven't written my book yet because I'm still waiting for inspiration. But the truth is, inspiration rarely happens. Inspiration, like, what does that even mean? Do you think that one day we're walking by in the park, in the woods, and we see this bird, and then that's going to give us inspiration to write the book? That's never going to happen, right? Inspiration happens because we summon it, because we create that feeling of inspiration by taking that first step. And because we take that little step that gives us that progress, that sense of accomplishment, that's when we get that feeling of inspiration. Mm-hmm. So inspiration only occurs during moments when you don't feel like doing something, when you take that first step, and as a direct result of the progress, that's when you feel inspired to continue doing more. It's the same thing with marketing, the same thing shooting videos, it's the same thing with implementing a bot for your marketing, and pretty much anything in life, really. And it's so crucial to really understand that every single skill in entrepreneurship is not about talent, but practice, but good habits. That's the thing that dictates how good we get eventually. And far too many people blame their lack of action, um, or lack of inspiration, or their results with things that's not in their control, with things like, I don't have the talent for it, I don't have that gift, I'm not extroverted. They blame it on the personality, so that it's easy to not take responsibility or control of the situation. But we got to understand that as entrepreneurs, every single skill in business and in entrepreneurship is a learnable, trainable skill. And if you can come from that mindset and belief and understanding that, whether it is implementing Facebook ads or bots, it's all these are just techniques that can be learned. And it's either you learn them or you find the right person who knows how to do it. It's really
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's so incredible. And I work with a lot of people who are wanting to start their own chatbot agency where they build bots for other people. And I hear that all the time for someone who hasn't launched in and they're fully developed. And I mean, I experience it myself. It's always that new thing that you want to conquer. And I feel like as entrepreneurs, we're always conquering something new because we always have these ideas and things to create. And we have to choose to not just think them, but to put action in place. And then even if we don't seem like we're like Peng Joon or Julie Stowing or Russell Brunson or all these amazing people, well, the only reason they are where they got there was because they believed and put one foot in front of the other and kept practicing and put it there. And so so good. That is so very good. And I'm that's like totally speaking, because I have been working on trying to implement the content multiplier myself. And there's a lot of mind stuff that goes on with video, right? Like trying to get over, I don't look like this, or I don't sound like this, or the message didn't come across just like this, and that need for perfection, or lining it up and trying to make sure, well, it doesn't look like this person's video, can literally prohibit you from actually creating anything at all and stop you right in the road where you could just be on the other side of something great. Because
and it's so crucial to know that if you take a look at every person or thought leader or marketer that's made it big, if you speak to that person, because not all of them might have videos on them how they first started, but you will see that most people were once horrible when they first started. Every single person. It's just that it's so easy to judge somebody based on their result, what they're currently doing. It's the same thing as looking at an Olympian who has made a movement look so easy. But what the rest of the world doesn't see is the blood, sweat, and tears of how she did the same movement over and over and over again ever since she was 4.
Yeah.
Marketing is the same thing.
Oh, that's so good. So for those who are listening, hopefully this is encouragement to you to, no matter what that thing is that you're looking at and you're like, I want to do it, but you feel like you're just not good enough or whatever. It's literally just that practice. It's taking that first step and going after it. So hopefully Ping has inspired you for that. So we're going to swing back over into bots. That was awesome. So with what you're doing in with your bots and your strategy, can you tell us any, do you have any specific things where, I know you said you saw 90% open rates, things like that, with everything that you do as far as lead magnets, webinars, all these different types of things that you have going out, which one do you feel like, I know you said customer service, but would you say that's the main thing that you've seen the biggest success in, or do you see it work really well for lead magnets or for webinar registrations?
So one of the things we do is we send people to our free plus shipping offers, because we want to make that the easiest barrier entry. So yes, webinars as well as free plus shipping are the 2 offers that worked really well for us, because it's like the easiest way to get started. So on top of, customer service, those are the 2 main funnels we send people to from our bots.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So I know you have got so much going on. Do you mind telling everybody kind of where the best way to follow you and keep in touch with what's going on in your world is? Would that just be the Facebook page, or where would you send them?
Well, you could go to my site, pengjoon.com. It's just pretty much lists down all the different things that I do. But if you want to see kind of like behind the scenes to what I do on a daily basis, that would be Instagram.
Okay. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Wait a second. I'm like having an epiphany here. I'm like, wait, Ping's not in my Insta. I must not be following you. So after this, you've got a new follower. Okay. So at the end of every podcast, I do a quick question that, because again, we are humans, right? We're talking about bots and digital marketing. But if there was one thing, you know, a mantra that you live by, or some advice that you would say, hey guys, take this and run with it because it's the best advice that I could give you, or something that's really impacted my life, what would that be?
So like for me personally, one of my biggest things that has helped me in terms of how I look at life, how I live life, is just a reminder that life is finite, and one day, whether we're ready or not, it will all come to an end. And at the end of it all, we will ask ourselves questions which, and these questions that we'll ask ourselves at the end are probably not the things that we think is important right now. Whereby we take a look at all our life right now, or in terms of our to-do list, our dreams, our ambitions, chances are at the end of it all, most things that we think is important right now would be irrelevant. Because at the end of it all, the only thing that will last is the memory of us in somebody else's mind. And if we truly understood that, then let's live life the way we want to be remembered by others. Um, and because at the end of it all, chances are we would have been bolder, we would have taken more risks, we would have forgiven, we would have said yes to a lot more things. Um, and with that reminder in mind, I think that's how we can live the best versions of ourselves.
That is so good. That is so, so good. I feel like that is one of the hardest things, especially in the digital marketing world as an entrepreneur, with everything that happens specifically in your news feed. I don't know, BotBoss listeners, if you experience the same thing, or Ping, if your news feed looks like mine, but if I get on Facebook, it is so busy with all of the scarcity and all of the urgency, and you need this and this has to be here, and all of these different things that are competing for your attention, right? And there sometimes can get on you the sense of like, well, I'm not enough until I have all these things, when in reality it's a distraction from what's most important. And for me personally, that's my kids, right? Like spending time, quality time with my kids and my husband and my dear friends, and being the difference, that I want to see in the world, right? So I feel like it's hard a lot of times to when you're trying to be the best in a niche and in a market, to not get caught up in the wave that is competition and all those things, while staying competitive and staying smart, but keeping the first thing first, right? So that's incredible advice. Thank you so much, Ping. So guys, you've got to follow Peng Joon online. He is such a blessing, and just incredible, incredible content coming out from him, and definitely an inspiration and one to watch and follow. So Peng, thank you so much for being on with us today. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie. I appreciate you.
All right, guys, tune in next time for the BotBoss podcast. Talk to you later. Bye.